Come a little closer, guys. Everybody come closer. Come close. Okay, good. Yeah. You're all in the camera. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm your mayor, Daniella Levine Cava, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today on short notice. We're going to update you and our community about today's fire at the county waste facility in Doral. I'd especially like to thank our county commissioner, J.C. Bermudez, who resides in Doral, former mayor, our City of Doral Mayor, Christy Fraga, our Doral Vice Mayor, Rafael Pinheiro, Doral Councilwoman Digna Cabral, Doral Councilwoman Maureen Porras, and our Chief of Public Safety, Freddie Ramirez, and Fire Chief Ray Jadala. Today at approximately 2 p.m., a fire began at the waste-to-energy facility in Doral. Our brave Miami-Dade County Fire Rescue Team and Miami-Dade Police were on the scene almost immediately to respond. All staff that were on site at the time of the fire were quickly evacuated, those who were working inside the plant. And I'm very grateful to report that there were no injuries. No injuries were reported. Everyone was safely evacuated. Our fire and rescue staff are still on the site responding to the blaze, as well as conducting ongoing air quality testing. All tests have come back clear at this time. There is no danger to the particulates or matter in the smoke. But the area around the plant is experiencing highly smoky conditions, potentially impacting visibility. So out of an abundance of caution, we're asking that residents who live in the area remain indoors and keep their windows closed. And people should avoid the area if possible. So if you do not need to go to this area, do not go there. Anyone driving through the area, we recommend keeping your windows rolled up to avoid any smoke entering your vehicle. We're going to continue to monitor the situation throughout the night and the next few days. We're going to provide any critical updates to you over the coming hours and days. Doral residents can anticipate additional communications through emergency text messaging and other services over the coming hours. So please stay alert and stay tuned. And I want to especially thank the courageous, dedicated men and women of our Miami-Dade County Fire, Rescue, and Miami-Dade Police Department, who time after time continue to place their lives on the line to protect and serve our community. I'm immensely proud of their service, and I know you are too. And I ask all of our residents to join me in expressing our deep gratitude for their service and praying for their continued safety tonight. Thank you. Hoy a las 2 de la tarde comenzó un incendio en la planta de conversión de residuos en Doral. Nuestros bomberos y policías de Miami-Dade respondieron a la escena casi de inmediato. La planta fue evacuada y afortunadamente no hemos reportado heridos hasta ahora. Hemos realizado pruebas de calidad del aire y todas han salido claras hasta el momento. Actualmente hay mucho humo alrededor de la planta. Por precaución, pedimos que los residentes que viven cerca permanezcan adentro y cierren sus ventanas. Otros residentes deben evitar el área si es posible y si tienen que conducir, por favor cierren las ventanas para evitar que entre humo en su vehículo. Seguiremos vigilando la situación y actualizando a la comunidad en las próximas horas y días. Thank you. And now to our commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. Juan Carlos Bermudez, the Commissioner for District 12. I want to first and foremost thank Mayor Levine Cava for making sure that we responded to this quickly. I want to thank the men and women, in particular of our fire department and our police department for, as the mayor indicated, putting their life on the line like they do every day and doing a fantastic job in limiting this fire up to now. I think the most important thing that we can do right now, in particular for the two cities that are impacted, the city of Doral, where I reside, and the town of Medley, which is adjacent, is certainly to make sure that the residents do not go by the area if they don't need to. Please avoid, if you can, that area tomorrow. And as the mayor indicated, please, if you do drive by with your windows rolled up, if you don't need to be outside in that area, don't be outside. 97th Avenue is closed because of some work that's being done there, so there's no reason to go near 97th Avenue. So if you can avoid it, I would suggest that we avoid it. I think the most important thing now is to monitor, and as the mayor said, the safety of the residents and those that work in the area and that visit the area is of utmost importance. As the chief had indicated, the readings have come back clear, which is the most important concern that I had, and I believe most of us had for the area, for the community. And hopefully that will continue to be the case. I would ask all of you and all of you in the media to please keep people apprised of what's going on, because things can change relatively quickly. And it's important to get the message out to our residents and our businesses that are also in the area tomorrow. And I would ask those that are seeing us on television to please make sure that they check tomorrow morning any briefing that is put out by our fire department to let you know what the status is, and avoid the area if you can. Simplemente gracias a la alcaldesa por el esfuerzo y el trabajo hoy en este momento tan difícil que hemos tenido en la área del Doral, pero en el condado. También lo más importante, darle gracias a los hombres y las mujeres del Departamento de Policía, del Departamento de Bomberos, que han hecho un gran trabajo y siguen haciendo un gran trabajo en este mismo momento que estamos aquí batallando lo que queda del fuego, que puede quedar por unos cuantos días. Yo creo que lo más importante que podemos decir, y en particular para mí como comisionado del Distrito 12 y residente de la ciudad de Doral, para las dos ciudades impactadas que son Doral y la ciudad de Medley, que por favor, si no necesitan pasar por la área, no pasen por la área. Si no necesitan salir afuera a su patio, no salgan a su patio. Obviamente, la suerte que tuvimos fue que el aire que se ha verificado está, aunque lo ven oscuro, el aire está limpio, no tiene ningún problema que fuera más serio desde el punto de vista de algún tipo de químico que fuera tóxico, y eso es lo importante. Gracias a Dios al trabajo de los hombres y las mujeres del Departamento de Bomberos se ha podido limitar y estamos en una situación donde no ha habido nadie que ha tenido una lesión o ha tenido algún tipo de otro problema resultando de este incidente. Lo único que le puedo decir es, por favor, si no necesitan pasar por la área cerca, que entra la 97 y la 102, la 58 y la 74 del Northwest, la 97 Avenida, 102 Avenida, la 58 calle, la 74 calle, por favor no lo hagan. Si están pasando por ahí, como mencionó la alcaldesa, suban las ventanas de su vehículo y lo más importante para los residentes de Doral, en particular, y también de la ciudad de Medley y los que trabajan en el área de Doral y el área no incorporada cerca, es que manténganse a tanto con las estaciones, con la información que manda el condado, que van a recibir el condado, porque las cosas pueden cambiar bien rápido. Y si cambian bien rápido, puede ser que estaremos aquí con un mensaje un poquitico diferente. Ojalá que no sea así. Pero por ahora eso es lo más importante. Por favor, si no tienen que salir, no salgan. Si no tienen que pasar por esa área, no pasen por esa área. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. And do you want to go in then briefly, and then we'll have Ray?
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll hear from our mayor, and then we'll hear from our fire chief, who can give more technical details as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Christy Fraga, Mayor of the City of Doral. First, I want to thank Mayor Daniella Levine Cava, our County Commissioner, and the men and women of the Miami-Dade County Fire Department for their swift action and communication with the City of Doral, keeping us informed as to this incident that took place today at the facilities located here in Doral. We are appreciative of their hard work. I won't repeat much of what's said, other than Doral is working with the county to make sure that we are keeping our residents informed and that we are following all protocol as well as precautions for the residents. We are glad that the county and Covanta have taken actions to test the air quality. That was our biggest concern, making sure that it is safest for our residents. Please avoid the area, it's been mentioned. I also want to thank the men and women of the Doral Police Department, who also quickly responded and helped securing our roads. Traffic may be impacted slightly tomorrow, so please stay abreast of all the information that will be coming out, not only from the county, but also the city of Doral will be ready to act and put out information. Our police department will definitely be out on the roads, making sure that the areas are secure for our residents. So once again, we thank the men and women of Miami-Dade County Fire, our mayor, Daniella Levine Cava, our commissioner, and the cooperative work that's been done between both the city of Doral as well as the county. Hola, mi nombre es Cristi Fraga, soy la alcaldesa de la ciudad de Doral. No voy a repetir todo lo que han dicho, pero simplemente quiero darle gracias a la alcaldesa del condado, Daniella Levine Cava, a nuestro comisionado y también a los hombres y las mujeres que han trabajado muy fuerte del Departamento de Fuego del condado, también a los oficiales de la ciudad de Doral, del Departamento de Policía, que todos trabajaron rápidamente para asegurar esta área, para que los residentes de Doral tuvieran la seguridad que necesitan en este momento. Sabemos que están trabajando todavía en este incidente. Sabemos que va a haber impactos que pueden suceder mañana, no solamente en el tráfico de nuestra ciudad, pero también a los empresarios de esa área. Así que, por favor, manténganse en comunicación. Nosotros estamos trabajando fuertemente con el condado para difundir la información necesaria para toda la seguridad de nuestra comunidad. Vamos a estar poniendo esa información lo más pronto posible para que puedan hacer decisiones en sus comunicaciones al trabajo mañana y saliendo de la ciudad y entrando a la ciudad. Por favor, si pueden prevenir de entrar a la zona en donde este incidente está ocurriendo, es lo más prudente en este momento para la seguridad de todos y más para la seguridad también de los hombres y las mujeres que están en este momento trabajando para contener este fuego. Puede ser que vean el humo por varios días. Vamos a estar dándole toda la información que esté disponible para que se sientan seguros, que tengan lo necesario para hacer esas decisiones a su diario. Muchísimas gracias una vez más por esta comunicación y al condado por su diligencia en este tema. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Commissioner Bermudez, Madam Mayor, thank you. So to reiterate what Madam Mayor had mentioned earlier, approximately 2 p.m. today, we responded to a plant facility fire. That fire had escalated to a third alarm fire, trash and garbage that basically caught fire. Now, this fire was kind of in the advanced phase early into the incident. We believe the fire kind of originated from a conveyor belt that may have moved some of the trash that was on fire to other parts of the building. This structure there's a total of 11 buildings that sit on this site. Of that 11 buildings, 4 buildings were on fire. Now, since the original 2 p.m. fire, we've gotten the fire down to 2 buildings that are currently on fire. However, at 9:15 p.m., the fire did escalate to a 4th alarm. This now has brought approximately 200 Miami-Dade firefighters and well over 60 apparatuses on site. This is going to be a long-term fire, a multi-operational period. We're looking at several days. We're looking at approximately 2 football fields worth of garbage and trash, coupled with numerous other challenges, including the structures itself. To reiterate once again, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, our hazardous materials units, are continuing to conduct air monitoring of the areas. We've gone down as far as 2 miles downwind to conduct these tests, and they've all come back negative. And when I say they come back negative, we're looking for various things such as oxygen displacement, hydrogen sulfide, which is the decomposition of organic materials, and we're looking for fumes or vapors from volatile flammable fuels. None of that has come back with any type of readings. Currently, again, at 9 p.m. today, the last reading, it came back at negative. And just one more time in regards to the multi-operational period, there's going to be quite a bit of smoke in the next several days. And currently the smoke is pushing from the west to the east, and we understand, talking to numerous subject matter experts with the weather forecasters, the wind is going to shift and start pushing at some point from the north to the from the northeast down to the south. Those who have respiratory ailments, we ask that you shelter in place, stay upwind, don't go into the smoky area. We'll continue to conduct these tests of the smoke, and we'll provide additional information. Tomorrow morning we will have a better understanding of the significance of how many operational periods that we're looking at. But as of right now, we believe that this may go at least 2 days, 48 hours. Thank you.
Can you talk about some of the challenges you faced with this fire? It's been a very windy day. Has that played a role?
Absolutely. So yes, very similar to the fire that we had 2 weeks ago. We've had, what we've already marked at the actual site itself, 27 knots of gusts. And if you haven't been to the site or if you didn't drive by the site, the wind hasn't helped. But more importantly, in regards to the challenges that we're experiencing right now. So these buildings, total of 11 buildings that sit on this site, is sheet metal, what we call Butler buildings. The buildings are basically sheet metal all around, the walls, the roof, etc. We also have the scaffolding and the catwalks that are made of metal. When we first arrived, those areas that any person would typically walk on to access certain areas were warped, now preventing our firefighters from actually getting to certain parts of the buildings. So it's not a building that sits a standalone building followed by another building. They're all somehow connected. So trucks can only position in certain areas, coupled with the fact that we have to access hydrants, and we actually started utilizing canal water, from that end. Our biggest challenge, or not necessarily the biggest challenge, but probably the three biggest challenges are obviously the wind, which always plays a factor. The actual limited access as a result of the scaffolding and the catwalks that have actually began to warp and melt, preventing our firefighters from accessing. And then again, what we've already experienced in the last 2 hours, and again when we struck the fourth alarm, we do have building collapses. When we have a building collapse, it alters the structure. It prevents our firefighters from making entry because now, obviously, the unknowns in regards to the remainder of that structure. So that's where we're sitting on in regards to those challenges, but they're all combined. No one has more emphasis than the other.
Were people working in that facility when that happened? You mentioned that it was on a conveyor belt.
Can we ask? Okay. So I want to also acknowledge that we have Bill Meredith, who is the manager for this plant from Covanta, and Mike Fernandez, who's our director of the solid waste department. So maybe, Bill, you could answer.
Yeah, we do work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there were people in the building. Fortunately, they all evacuated and everybody was safe.
Can you talk a little bit more about when the fire started? The chief mentioned it, but it seems to be, it may have been a conveyor belt.
Yeah, we really don't know. We did notice that the initial fire was on a conveyor belt. And at this time, we decided that we needed the assistance of the fire department and called them in and got the people out of the building.
As to the operations for the facility, what's going to happen to the trash that receives on a daily basis?
Okay, we're going to let Mike Fernandez answer. Yes, thank you. Thanks, Bill.
Mike Fernandez, Director, Solid Waste. We've rerouted. We've already sent notice out to our customers that we will be rerouting deliveries to other county facilities, basically our landfills. Sí.
De acuerdo a la operación que normalmente esta planta obtiene, ¿qué van a hacer con la basura que recolectan alrededor de toda la ciudad que vienen a quemar o a traer esta planta?
So, vamos a mandar la basura a otros lugares en el condado para botarlo en las lomas nosotros.
En cuanto a los químicos que se utilizan en la planta para la transformación de la energía, han sido en este momento causados por el fuego, han sufrido algo, ¿están seguros?
No, hasta ahora nada.
Real quick, this is a waste energy facility. We took a tour of it last year, and what happens to the part where you actually burn the trash to convert into energy? Is that shut down? Were you able to get access to that or anything like that?
So the facility is shut down. Basically, this is prior to that process where this conveyor feeds into that process. So yeah, I mean, that's basically all shut down. Everything, the plant is shut down right now.
So do you think the fire was possibly caused, a possible cause from the burning of?
No, right now based on what we're seeing, it was a conveyor belt that feeds material to get processed, not so beforehand.
Yeah, I would just like to emphasize, it's still being, actually, right now, we're working on putting out the fire. So that is the most important thing. The fire is still burning in two buildings, so obviously we're concentrating on that. And of course, we all want to know what was the cause of the fire, and then we'll assess the damage to see what could be repaired or what are the next steps. And in the meantime, trash will be taken to our landfill.
And just to double check, instead of 11 buildings, 4 caught fire, 2 are still on fire.
That's correct.
Yes. Any other questions? Oh, we went Spanish.
If 100% of the working at the Covanta in this time.
I'm so sorry. What was the question? What was the question?
100% shut down.
Está la planta
It's 100% shut down.
Sí, todo cerrado. Está cerrado.
Sí, está totalmente cerrado.
Sí, porque tenemos un fuego todavía y estamos combatiendo el fuego.
Voy a hacer la información en español. Hoy a eso de las 2 de la tarde tuvimos un incendio en esta planta. Lo que estamos viendo es un incendio que está quemando bastante fuerte. Vemos muchísimo humo negro que está afectando la zona. En este momento también continúan trabajando los bomberos tratando de apagar este incendio. Actualmente tenemos 2 edificios en los cuales todavía tenemos un incendio activo, lo que se llama. Empezó el incendio en 4 edificios, pero en este momento solamente tenemos 2 edificios en los cuales estamos viendo este incendio. En cuanto a la calidad del aire, estamos constantemente monitoreando la calidad del aire para asegurar que todo esté bien en este momento. Las medidas han estado llegando normales, no hemos encontrado ningún residuo, estamos verificando 4 gases, los cuales es lo que estamos monitoreando y no hemos tenido ninguna medida que diga que es peligroso para el área y para las personas que residen en el Doral.
Any more questions? So we'll continue to monitor and update and have reports to you throughout. Right? Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
He's good.